reason why a lot of young folk are skeptical about other older black folk because nobody in their life taught them anything.
Right.
All their life they've been told what to do when I kick in. Because then when I kick in with my scripts, you'll say, okay, do you have that resume with you? Yes. And that I can get hired on the spot, but a lot of people go to job fairs and they waste time. See, a lot of veterans think that this getting out is a joke. They think it's never gonna happen. So they wait till the last minute, they're thinking, okay, got a year, got 9 months. So a lot of them don't think that this reality is gonna happen. Then when it happens, that's when it hits them.
Welcome to another episode of the Addies Podcast, where we salute those that serve and those that are continuing to serve. Today's special guest is Andrew A.J. Johnson, retired warrant officer FSO, served in the Navy for 30 years. He's currently working at the Department of Labor, and he came aboard today just to kind of give us some education on what he's been doing and what he's doing for the actual service members that are about to separate or retire out of the military. Thanks for coming on, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks
No problem.
for showing love. AP, what's going on?
That much, man. I'm good, man. You know, can't complain. How you?
Life is good. Let people know we got a spades court tournament coming up July 27th, Chesapeake City Park, from 12 to 6 p.m. Again, you don't know how to play spades, still come out, have a good time. Somebody will teach you.
No, they won't.
Ain't
Nobody gonna teach them.
Nobody probably gonna teach you. But hey, just come out and show some love, show some support. Again, you don't have to play, but just come out, have a good time, have a couple cold beverages, some cigars, listen to some good music, and just enjoy the vibe. That's what we got going on right now for the Goat Locker Hall of Fame. But AJ, man, what you up to, bro?
Not much, man. Keeping it simple, just maintaining what I got and doing what I like to do and being positive.
There you go.
Hey, man, for again, this is we got a special one.
Special one.
In here,
Oh, yeah.
You know, because not only did he serve, you know, honorably and reach the ranks of a not master chief, excuse me, but you know, chief, CWO, but also what he's been doing post retirement, right? You know, still giving back and been giving back for quite a while. So we got a real good treat for the listeners today because this is someone that got a lot of impactful information. If you ain't been to TAPS class yet, you know, trust me, you're going to be moved.
Right. I appreciate the kind words, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so 30 years, man, you know, you did sub-tender, amphibs, and carriers.
Absolutely.
Did a short tour, I guess,
As
one of the galleys, you know, in that area. Been in Hampton Roads, but how long?
Well, probably other than I did 2 tours in San Diego. I commissioned the USS Supply, and I also did the Reagan. Other than that, I did a 2-year tour in Japan, the Essex and Sasebo.
Okay.
So other than that, my whole life's been my adult life has been Virginia.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sounds like a lot of us,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But you know, before we get to the adult life, you know, hey, you came in at 85, coming
That's
from.
correct.
Man, I'm trying to think what I was doing in 85. You know, man, I wasn't even in that grade, you know.
Yeah.
But you was making some adult decisions, you know what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
at that time. But coming from Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, you heard me tell my story. I'm from a small little town called Ferdy, Louisiana. Population about the size of this room. We don't have stoplights or stop signs. We got signs to say, whoa, that's our country. I didn't come from money.
Right.
I didn't come from a military family or a military town. Actually, I was born dirt poor. I often tell people, you guys probably know what an outhouse is.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a shack in back of a shack that you had to go and, relieve yourself at. And you heard me say this, there was no electricity in my home.
Yeah.
So we got our light from the sun during the daytime, and there's no such thing as a TV or radio or fan, anything that required electricity. It didn't come our way. We had something called a kerosene lamp at night. There was also no indoor plumbing, so there was no toilet, no bathroom, no shower, no sink. When I tell my kids that, they don't believe it. They say, Dad, nobody lived like that, right? Because they're spoiled. Mm-hmm. They don't know the struggle. But come from a broken family. My parents separated at the age of 3. When I was 3 years old, they separated. And my mom kept my older brother in Louisiana with her, and my father migrated to me with a state called Delaware. So I was raised dirt poor in Louisiana, and I grew up dirt poor in Delaware. Not born with a silver spoon, but with a plastic spoon in my mouth. And I tell folk all the time, but I still had dreams because children, we still dream big in spite of circumstances.
Right.
So I always wanted to be a school teacher, firefighter, police officer, astronaut, truck driver, professional basketball player because I am the original Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And also
Hey.
maybe the President of the United States, right?
Right.
Okay.
And at the age of 12, my father became a chronic alcoholic and the state took me from him. I became a foster child. So I always tell people my story, not for folk to feel sorry for me. It's just that you never know who can relate to you, right? And on top of that, I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So that's a big deal. And the military was my calling card. It kind of saved my life. So I joined the military at the age of 17, 18 time frame. And that's been allowed me to live the American dream.
Wow, you talking about getting out the mud.
Yeah, out the grit, from
Right.
the bottom of the barrel,
That's
the
what that
rough.
looks like. And the most important piece about that, you didn't allow that to define the man that you are today.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. So
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, your past will do three things to you: define you, consume you, or motivate you. And I always choose the latter because it's easy to be a victim, right? I say to people all the time, if you're born broken, poor, as a child, you don't control that. But as an adult, then now it's on you. So I usually don't blame my circumstances.
You just adjusted and made a better choice.
Yeah, allowed to motivate me up.
So going into the military, like what did you say? Okay, I didn't want to go to college, or
Well, my family couldn't afford to send me to college,
Yeah.
but I had a cousin. Him and I were best friends, and we worked at an Italian restaurant in Delaware.
Okay.
And we got the jobs being dishwashers, but the Italian chef saw something in me and said, "Hey, look, I've been watching you, AJ. You come early, you stay late, never complain. I'd like to teach you how to become an Italian chef." I said, "How does it work?" He said, "In 2 years, you'll be a certified chef. We'll teach you on the job." I'm excited, but my cousin's disappointed because I'm now his boss. And he needs to work just a little bit more faster, right? So
right.
at some point, my cousin said, "This guy's tripping. You get this job now." And we were like best friends and like brothers. My cousin, we're still close to this day. So he quits and goes meet a Navy recruiter. Now, I don't know anything about this. He comes back, he said, "I'm out of here, AJ." I said, "Where you going?" He said, "I talked to a Navy recruiter." And the recruiter told me if I could find a buddy, I can become an E2. So I don't know what the hell a buddy is and what's an E2. He said, "I'm looking at my buddy." I said, "No, you're not. I'm a chef. Leave me alone."
Right.
I said, "Did that recruiter tell you anything else that he wants you to tell me?" He said, "Yep. He wanted me to tell you don't have to join. Just act like you want to join." I said, "That's it. Let's go meet this guy."
Yeah, I could do that.
Well, you know what happened, right? I fought the law and the law won. So I met their recruiter and the rest was history.
Fast talk.
They got me.
Yeah.
Told me he said, "What do you do in the Navy?" He says, "What do you do in the real world?" I said, "I'm a chef." He says, "Well, we got chefs in the Navy."
There we go.
I said, "You do? How long it take me to become a chef in your organization?" He said, 2 months. So the Italian guy told me 2 years.
Okay.
My cousin wants to become an E2 now, and I love my cousin, so I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Got him.
So he got me. That was it.
Got him.
Took hook, line, and sinker. And I go to A school in San Diego, California, boot camp. Matter of fact, me and my cousin, we get to boot camp 2 days late. We show up to boot camp 2 days late.
Hold on. So
We showed
something
the-
already started.
Yeah, so we out the gate. So I'm thinking California because we had a choice between Chicago. Back then it was Chicago, Orlando, and San Diego. I didn't want to go to Chicago. It was cold. So me and my cousin, we've been watching Soul Train all our life.
He said,
So we going to California. So we go to boot camp. We missed our flight because we had all this luggage. We thinking at night we're going to go down to Soul Train and hang out.
Oh no.
So we get to boot camp a day and a half late. The company commander said, "Where y'all been at?" And we got all this luggage, right? And they said, "What's all this extra stuff?" I said, "Well, I'm going to be with y'all during the daytime, but at night I'm heading down. I'm going to Soul Train at night and hang out with those guys."
Okay.
He said, "Okay, I got your Soul Train."
That was your plan.
This was my plan. I'm talking to the company commander like this, right?
That's a new one. That's
So
a
he
new
said, "Okay, just give me your luggage." He said, "In the meantime," and we got there at about 10 o'clock at night. But I'm telling this guy to this company commander. My cousin's like, "AJ, calm down, man." I said, "We
trying
cool,
to
man."
get to the Soul Train.
So
man.
he said, "Go get your nap."
Right.
About 12 o'clock, my luggage all over the clothes all out. Now I got your Soul Train marching party.
They didn't do all of that if you want
They
to.
worked us out, man. Because I
Yeah.
cut in the boot camp a day and a half late. We show up at boot, and we from that moment on, they lit into us. And my cousin's like, "AJ,
yeah,
you gotta chill
y'all
out,
was
man."
just
We got
special
some stories
class.
on here, but it's like that one was a new one.
Yeah.
That was the new one.
That would move all the way to the top.
That might move to the top.
That's neck and neck with the fire.
With the UFO.
Yeah.
It's always a boot camp story.
Yeah, we got there day and a half late.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So boot camp probably was a little tough for you.
It was real tough.
Before you left Cali, did you make it to the Soul Train?
No, I didn't make it.
I didn't think so. I
never made the Soul Train, but I made it through boot camp, graduated top of my class in A school because back then, MSA school was also in San Diego. Mm-hmm. So I went to boot camp there and A school.
You like San Diego when you got there?
It was good but different. Too far away. I'm a family person, so my family's Delaware and Louisiana, and it's like to me it was a whole nother country. Right. You know.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we can probably dig deep into your military career, but you've been retired now 10 years.
Almost 10 years, yeah. This December be 10 years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How's that feel?
It's a good feeling. I love my freedom. I tell folk all the time. People often ask me, AJ, do you miss the military? And my response is yes, like a hole in my head. I don't miss it at all, right? It's a joke, right?
Right. I know.
Yeah, what I miss is the fellowship, this right here, the camaraderie. But far as the politics, the red tape, and the backbiting, and all that stuff that comes, I don't miss that at all. But I miss just the fellowship.
Okay. Out of your 30-year career, what was like one of your most rewarding experiences that you dealt with, in the military?
Well, for me, it's always the junior folk. I just like seeing people make rank. I came in the Navy when folk would take your crew and bang it in your chest, and you had your LPO was alcoholic, your chief was alcoholic, your Divo, and they used to treat people like crap. And for me, that never processed because I'm always professional, not perfect but professional. And I said, God, if this is going to be my calling card, then I'm going to treat people like human beings because these are somebody's sons and daughters who've been entrusted to us, right? So would you take your child to the daycare center and let the daycare center just rough them up? Would you be okay with that?
Right.
So for me, it's always been that, taking care of people, seeing them promote, seeing them get rewarded. For me, it's just people. Mm-hmm. I never change with that.
A lot of people, they like to say they from that Navy where, I can put hands on you and all that, but it's from that time for real.
That didn't work for me. I remember when are you guys shellbacks?
Uh-huh.
I never got my shellback. Remember, I'm ahead of you guys. So when I came up, the shellback was, I'm the food guy, so I got to put the food away and let it rot and get maggots and all that. And then you had to crawl, on your knees through it and eat a cherry out of somebody's belly. But we did one thing different. I don't know if they did it when you guys came up, but they would put you in your skivvies. You'd be in your skivvies, and if you didn't get it right, they would wet you down, and then that Neptune guy would take paddles and whack you 15 times on your backside. I mean, so that for me, I said, this doesn't make any sense. Right? How's this gonna make me a better person? So I never got my shell back. And to be honest, guys, I sleep good at night because no civilian has ever asked me where my shellback is, right?
Hey, can you show me your shellback?
They're not looking for that, right?
No.
So, but back then they tell you're polywog and you this, that, and the third. So, but I didn't see any. For me, there was no reason for the madness.
Right.
I've always been about just taking care of people.
As a FSO, did you just have like a memorable, like a challenge that you dealt with? And you said, how do I overcome it?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things.
Because I asked that because we had another guy, Don Banks. He's an FSO right now.
Don,
yeah, you know Don.
Mm-hmm.
And he educated me on a lot of stuff that CSs do in that world, and that we overlook. Because the only thing we coming down is to grab something to eat.
Yeah.
Get something to eat and keep it moving. Not the preparation, not the, storming, the breakouts and all of that kind of stuff. So what did you something that you had to overcome?
Well, food service is the only rate in the Navy that doesn't shut down. It's open 24/7, 365, right?
Yeah.
So
is that like something y'all say in A school?
Yeah, but it is what it is, right? Because the galley don't close on a ship.
Yeah. That's what he said.
On shore duty, it's a little bit different. But so the challenge, what I used to love to do is, once again, is people. Every E1 to E5 or maybe E4 has to come see me on the Navy ship. Why? Mm-hmm. You guys call it cranking. I never use that word because it's a demeaning word. I call it food service attendant. And so you have to take young people and, one, let my cooks know, hey, these guys are important to us. We can't do our job without these guys. And then you got people who don't want to be there. I didn't join the Navy to do this. They don't understand the meaning of it, right? So you got to inspire them to say, hey, what you're doing is important to what we do. We can't do this without you. So a lot of people don't know that word crank is a demeaning word. Why? Years ago, folk that look like me and you, our only option was to be cooks. And when we would complain to our white counterparts, they would say, stop being cranky, go back to work, boy. right? So it runs deep, right? So
I
that
never
word
knew
just
that.
stuck.
I
Right.
never knew that.
So I never use the word cranking because I know there's a meaning behind it. And I call all of them food service attendant because it's the professional terminology, right? So my job is, like I said, just educating young folk, okay, what you're doing is important. It's kind of like if you're growing up at home. When your mom brought the groceries, who got the groceries out of the car?
We did.
We did.
We did. Yeah.
They would cook it up, but it was our job to go
They
get
go
it.
grab it and bring it
So
inside.
cooks couldn't do. We can't load food. We can't cook by ourselves. We need help. It's not enough of us, and we need you guys to come TAD and help us prepare your food and make sure you're good to go to staterooms and all that stuff. So my job is to inspire young folk, whether you're in the deep. So some people say, okay, let's take an FSA and put him in the deep sink. If he's a troublemaker, let's put him in the deep sink. No, the deep sink is the most important job of the galley. Without pans, you can't cook. So my job is always tell my cooks, no, the deep sink is not punishment. Every job in the galley matters. You see what I'm
Really
getting at?
do.
But a lot of people think, okay, let's throw them in the deep sink. Punishment. Oh, that's an important job. So I should change their mindset. Once they know that they're valued and appreciated, they'll do anything for you. You know?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. How about being like deployed? You know, them areas when you trying to get supplies. You know, how was that? Like, was that a challenge?
Yeah, well, it's always, unreps and, just feeding on a carrier, you're talking about maybe 6, 7, 8,000 people. So it's always a challenge getting food, whether you're unreps or import. But for me, I always had a good team of cooks and master chiefs and sailors, so we could manage it. But it is, the life of a cook is tough money,
I think we all look at it just like, oh, hey, you just cooking.
No.
The basics and just cooking.
Some people think cooking is not, the rate is just a simple rate, but we deal with a lot, from budgeting and people skills or customer service skills and managing this, that, and the third. And it's a lot to go involved with it. Storage, yeah.
What was like the most impactful training or experiences that shaped your leadership?
Well, I had a guy named Cedric Davis, a Warrant Officer Davis, we used to call him the Green-Eyed Bandit. And I told, AP my story. I took the chief test 11 times. 11 times. I went up for chief 11 times and they get picked up. Cut 80s. I was always 5-0, always sell the year. But for some reason, that board would not select me. So I go to a ship in 2000 called the George Washington, and I call it my blessing ship. We were talking about that. And I'm an 18-year first class with 2 years left on my contract. And I said, God, whatever happens, I'm all in. Never got negative, never blamed the system, but it hurt, but I still had to keep fighting a good fight. Yeah. And sometimes it's right place, right time. So I go to the George Washington, I go from E6 to Warrant Officer in 1 year. That's how it happened. And then I got commissioned on the GW. Then I go to the Kearsarge where I get my final commission. And that's how I became an officer. But it was 11 times I took that chief test.
Yeah, not giving up.
Not giving up.
So how was it? Because we see sellers nowadays, 3-4 times they ready to throw in the towel, But how was it for you to stay motivated,
it
after
hurt
so many trials?
It hurt it because you and I both, we know that when you see people that make rate that can't touch you,
right?
And it hurts. But in the same breath, I never blamed, anybody. Because I did my part. The board is something I had no control over, right? So I never got bitter about it. Did it hurt? Yes, because I'm human. But I just, I know that as long as I keep fighting a good fight, and if I retired to first class, I'd have been okay because I gave 110%. Now, if I was a slacker, different ball game.
And I sit there and think, I'm glad you said that, because I see people now, and it's probably way before your time, like on social media, they go there and say, I'm not treated right. My chain of command is not treating me right. Or the selection board got it wrong. They didn't select me. And for me, I look at that as like, have you ever sat a board to understand the process?
Got it.
Because it's easy to come on social media to vent your frustrations, but do you understand the process? And especially today, it's hard to say, well, we're not going to select this person because I don't like him or her. And I haven't sat a board probably in 6 years.
Yeah.
I know you have recently, but I just know it's not like that anymore. So I don't understand how people just go, oh, I'm just going to vent, and complain and not even understand the process.
And even for me, it's kind of crazy when you read those comments because they know somebody during that cycle who has got selected, you know, and it's just like, oh, for you they got it wrong, but for your friend they got it right. But it's the same process.
Yeah.
And then years down the road, it's gonna be the same process that get it right for you eventually, you know, or whatever. But again, just staying motivated.
Yes, the attitude.
You know what? So again, did your leadership play a role in keeping you positive, keeping you upbeat? You know.
Well, I've always been self-motivated. I'll tell you that guy, that warrant officer friend of mine, Cedric Davis, who's retired CWO4. So he was kind of mentoring, kind of a guiding light for me. But I never blamed the system, right? I just knew that, okay, if I stay at this, regardless, I'm going to retire first class and I'm going to be happy, or something else going to happen. God going to bless me. But either way, I never got bitter at the system, right? Because I was in a good system. You know, so I just kept fighting a good fight. It didn't get me off track.
What advice would you give a young service member that's aspiring to be a chief or warrant officer? You know, that you can give them to this day, even though you've been out the game for 10 years, but you still know it.
Yeah, I still come in contact with them in my workshop. So a lot of them, they want to get out. So they're getting out for all the wrong reasons. They're getting out on emotions, and when you emotionally become irrational, a lot of them are going back to broken places, right? So I tell them, listen, you know, first of all, you know, the military is one of few jobs that you can get a pension, because all of us, we really go to work so we can get from point A to point B, which is that retirement life. And if you're getting out the military and thinking that you're going to walk out here with no credentials, just nothing but a 4-year enlistment on your belt and compete against the real world, it's going to be tough money. You're in a situation where you got a career, you got a chance to promote, you're getting benefits, you're getting all these allowances. You know, think this thing through, right? And so a lot of them get out because they think the grass is greener, right? So you got one broke person tell another broke person get out. That's two broke people going nowhere, right? So because they're getting advice from all the wrong people.
Right.
You and I are not telling them that. We're telling them, hey, listen, guys, hang in there and make this thing work.
Yeah.
Their peers are telling them, let's go.
Yeah.
Time to bounce, deuces, right? And so that's not good advice. So by the time they meet me and I talk to them and pour into them and let them know, hey, listen. And then when I tell them my story, because see, stories they sell. Stories go from your head to your heart. Right? I always tell people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we all probably heard this before. They'll forget what you said, Maya Angelou. They'll forget what you did. They'll never forget how you make them feel. And that's our job, to pour back into them, right? And just, you know, just work them. And at some point, reality kick in. Now, we can't save all of them. But most folk that come in contact with me, they say, Miss AJ, I need to talk to you some more. Don't worry. Hit my number, hit me up.
Right. And that's love that you say, hey, I'm going to give you my number personally.
Yeah.
Call me and talk to me. And I think that probably will make a big difference on their decision.
Yeah, because see, a lot of young folk, they want something that you and I, that we all took advantage of. It's a word called hope. The recruiters promised us hope 20 years ago. He cashed in on it, I cashed in on it, you cashed in on it. And all hope means is that your tomorrow's going to be better than today. But a lot of these young folk, they don't believe that, because they probably got some crazy chain of command or some crazy friends that's not pouring the right stuff into them. So their hope is killed. The dreams are killed until they come across folk like us. That's just going, okay, I'm not hearing all that. Whatever you're saying, let's kill that.
Right.
I think oftentimes they believe like it should be easy. But if it was easy, I always say everybody would be able to do it.
No,
you got to be able to break out amongst.
Yeah, I'm a law of average guy. I believe the military, only 10% can do what we do. 90% just show up and collect a paycheck. The other 10%, we're the one grinding, going to getting our quals, passing tests, going to C schools and becoming chiefs and officers. The other 9, this is the easiest place in the world to make money.
Right.
This is a ripoff, to be honest. We breed lazy people. The military breeds lazy people. You can be a 1-0 in this organization and stick around and get paid. But it's folk like us, the 10%, that really keep it afloat.
All right, so you picked up Chief 2002. How many years again?
2000.
2002.
Okay.
And how many years was that? 18?
About 18, yeah.
18. How did you feel when they called your name? They said that you, because I know you said it 11 times.
Yeah. So my senior chief got me, my warrant officer. They all let me know. It was a good feeling. I mean, to be honest, I didn't go crazy like most folk because you know a lot of guys that was in my season had 7, 9 years in, right? So I wasn't hating on them, but my emotions was different.
Right.
Mine was about time, right? So I was a sailor year also. So during that time frame, I was a special case inside the Chiefs mess. So they really beat me up. You know what I'm saying? I had a little bit of rebel in me. So I fought a little bit too, but other than that,
I won't be shocked.
Yeah, it
You
was
the Soul Train.
Yeah. So other than that, it was but it was a blessing. I was just about time in my mind.
Did someone inspire you to become an FSO, like to become?
Yeah. Once again, that warrant officer friend of mine, we called him the Green Eye Bandit, but they used to call me. They said I was his version of him, right? I mean, I love this guy to this day. He led the right way. He did things right. So Cedric Davis was my mentor.
So your plan was always to become CWO.
Yeah,
once that chief.
initially, to be honest, it wasn't. I wanted to be a master chief.
Okay.
That guy I'm telling you about, he said, AJ, you can do. He got a bunch of officers. They got me in the room and said, you know what, you're gonna do this whether you want to do it or not.
They courted you.
They said you can do two things at once. You can you can apply for senior chief, but you can also apply for officer. Whatever happens, you rock with it.
Right.
So that's what I did. So my initial thought, I don't want, because I thought it was selling out. I didn't know any better. I'm thinking, I don't want to be an officer. I want to go. I want to stay in the goat locker. I don't want to become. I want to go to the dark side. But they made sense to me when they got me all together, and all these, black brothers with power were officers. And listen, you can do two things at once.
Yeah.
So I tell folk all the time now, don't just say I want to stay in the goat locker. Do two things at once. Run for cheap, but also put your package in. Whatever comes first, you rock with it.
Right.
So that's how that went down.
And I know it's probably a painful thing because I applied for LDO warrant like 9 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, why am I not getting picked up?
Yeah.
But everybody else is.
Yeah.
But I guess my calling was to be a master chief.
Exactly.
And I think I probably done more in the master chief realm than I probably
Absolutely.
did in gunner, aviation.
Yeah.
So,
Because we can't control what we can't control.
that's right.
I never put in a package
You never
ever.
put in a package?
Ever.
You just knew that you wanted to be a master chief.
I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
No doubt.
I never put in a package, never an appraisal board.
None of that.
When people come ask me, I send them to other people. Be like, I can't tell you nothing about that process.
Exactly. I understand.
I never wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it teaches on.
So within a year, you go from CS1, CWO2. So what was that feeling like?
It was a good feeling, but like I said, it more so because of my guys that worked for me and the people that I had around me. But it was definitely a good feeling, personally and professionally. Right. So a lot of folk were in my corner because they know that I'm that, I'm a hard charger. So folks say, you know what? Sometimes, right place, right time, and sometimes good things happen to good people for a reason. So but it just took me a minute.
Did those traits, like those leadership style traits that you have, the passion that you have, did it come from like an upbringing?
Yeah, people ask me all the time, man, where did you get your speaking ability, your leadership, where did it come from? Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm from the hood. Yeah. Right. I got a lot of flaws. I mean, I grew up in the hood, so I ain't, what I'm saying? But what I did was I said, you know what? Let me just work on my communication skills and use it. Let me flip it up. People like me. People, I can inspire folk, and I just flipped it up. But yeah, I'm from the hood, right? So, but I just flipped my game up.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly.
Don't get him twisted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a chameleon, man. He can shift at any arena.
And it helps because you're able to connect.
Yeah, I can relate to people.
To a lot of
at all
people
levels.
and
Yeah.
understand,
Yes, sir.
okay, I know why you're thinking that way. I know what you're doing. Now we all got stories, but yours is more like you've been through some stuff. That's why I'm like,
did you guys see the movie Antoine Fisher?
Yes.
Well, that's me.
yeah.
Right, so I come from a broken situation. The military saved this life. That's a true story. So I often say Antoine Fisher because I know what it's like to be from nothing and then you're in this thing called the Navy.
Right.
That's the route he took. So yeah.
Okay. So real estate, 26 years in the real estate game.
So before we go, because you came in with your cousin.
Yeah.
What
happened? He got out 10 years medical discharge. Unfortunately, his knees went bad, so he got on a medical discharge. But he's doing okay. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, and what was his rate?
He was HT1.
HT1.
He did good. He would have probably been a chief or master chief. I don't know. He probably his nickname was Mike Tyson, so he probably never would have did the officer thing. But he got Mike Tyson for a reason, right?
Nice with them hands.
Yeah, so he put them things on. Yeah.
He just told us he from the hood, man.
Yeah, he put them things on you.
Told
So so he probably been a chief or a master chief or something, but not the officer route. Yeah.
Them whole technicians, man.
Yeah, he was HT1.
They do a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a job. Talented. Okay. So real estate, great question though. Real estate, 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
What made you get into it?
Well, real simple. Where I'm from, there was no black real estate agents. So I never saw any when I was coming up. I had a friend of mine. It was a DC one, and I used to shoot ball with him. Mm-hmm. And he was in the real estate game. He said, AJ, you want to learn how to do real estate? I said, well, I don't know anything about it. He said, get your license, because he left a company, started his own office in his home. Mm-hmm. So I was his first agent. But like I said, I never saw a black real estate agent in my life. And because where I'm from, it didn't exist. So I wanted to kind of be the one to kind of, break the cycle, and so that's why I did it. Okay. And then when I started doing it, I realized that, you're helping people out, and you're teaching folk that look like us how to go out there and buy a home, and so I just like the whole concept of it.
So at this point, you still active duty?
I still do it, but I do it on referral base. I'm not in the office every day.
No, I'm saying when you spoke to this person, you were still active duty.
He got out. He got out because he was E6 at the time. He's making about $100,000 a year back in the 80s. Oh, wow. I mean the 90s. So he says I'm gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't bounce because I was still learning it. He'd been in for a while. Mm-hmm. But I always kept my license because I never know based on referrals and stuff like that.
Okay.
Did any lessons that from the military that helped you become a better realtor or a greater realtor?
Well, just people skills. I mean, so real estate's about people, but my whole thing, whatever I deal with you on, if you're dealing with AJ, I'm gonna educate you first. Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of folk, take people and look at the commission first, and then the person, I got the check, but you got buyer's remorse. That's not a good feeling, right? I'm running to the bank, and you trying to figure out how can I get out this deal because the guy didn't bamboozle me. Mm-hmm. So anything I do is education first, and at that point, now you can make an informed decision. But if I teach you about real estate, if I teach you about finances, I'm going to educate you first.
Okay. Now, with that being said, you are a master of many different trades, with many different hats. While you was serving education and stuff like that, was you taking classes and getting degrees, certifications?
So I as far as the degree level, I got an associate's degree from TCC. Mm-hmm. A lot of my stuff is I'm self-taught, but the finance game, you got to get certification and license. Right. The real estate game is continuing certification and license. And then just my other skill set is just my people skills. That's just life skills, right? But yeah, I'm a big fan of continuous learning. Okay. I believe in that.
So again, while you were serving, you were still obtaining those.
Yeah, I still maintaining those. Yeah, still maintaining all those requirements and stand on top of my license and certifications. I'm big on that.
Nice.
What advice would you give somebody that's active duty or a veteran that's looking to pursue becoming a realtor?
Well, first thing I tell them is don't watch reality TV because that's a farce.
That is something you in there.
Yeah, so they think that you can become rich overnight. So whether you see all these people over there, the millionaire folk and the twin brothers and all that, if you're going to leave the military, whether retiring or separating, you think about real estate, get you a real job first. Let that be your hobby on the side. Mm-hmm. And then if you get to the point where you can blow up, then walk away. But don't get out the military thinking that you can become an agent because real estate's real simple. If you're not closing, you ain't eating. Mm-hmm. Right? It's that simple. If you ain't got nobody closing alone, whether you're buying or selling, then you're out back. Right. So get a real job first. Let that be your hobby. And then if you get to the point where you can walk away at some point, like the guy you might know, Brandon, I think it is, if you're that good, then now I can branch out on my own and become an independent contractor where I'm making real money. So
majority of your clients, were they service members?
Yeah, my target audience is a lot of military folks. So if I get referrals, it's a lot of ex-military people.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because again, you spent maybe like the last 12 years with majority of that being an officer. When you did get out at 30, was that your plan to just I'm gonna just relax? I'm gonna get this pension, this VA and
yeah. So I was disability is not guaranteed, so I got my pension. I do get some disability, but also I knew that I'm gonna keep my license, my realtor license, and my finance license. And then I took 6 years off. I told you, as far as a real job, I took 6 years off. I just worked on my real estate and my finance, not like a full-time work, but just there when things happen. And then I had planned where me and my wife, my budget where I could sustain my lifestyle, not breaking the bank, but I could do what I want to do.
What are some common mistakes that you see service members make with dealing with real estate, like either buying a home or selling a home?
Yeah, the most important part is education. A lot of people, they say, well, my friend said I could buy a house with no money down. My friend said I can get a rehab loan. Once again, talk to the wrong people, right? So I always tell people advice and education is two different things. See, when people give you advice, basically what they're doing to you is they're telling you what to do. So you don't have any understanding. You're just being told what to do. When you're educated, now you can make a decision because now you can challenge the advice that you're being given. I don't know, what's your rating in?
AB.
You could talk that in your sleep because that's what you do. In your sleep. So nobody can't bamboozle you. But if you don't understand real estate, then you come to me, if I see you and I'm not sincere about your best interest, I'm going to get you. I'm going to tell you everything I want you to do because you don't know any better. 9 times out of 10, you're going to do what? You're going to do it. And then that's when buyer's remorse kick in. So for me, I always believe in education first. I don't care if you coming to me about anything, coaching, mentoring, real estate, finance, I'm going to educate you first.
Right? Because I'm sure a lot of real estate don't do the same thing.
No, because people like to give advice. See, advice and opinions, all I'm doing is telling you what to do. And if you don't have the skill set to challenge what I'm telling you, you have nowhere to go but to me. Right? So that's how people get you. Right? The way you take advantage of folks is you keep them ignorant. That's how you do it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Wow, that's deep. The real estate, it's up and down.
Yeah, it's a cyclical.
But it's constantly going up, but it dips and goes back down.
Yeah, it's what we call cyclical. Yeah, it goes up and down. Yep.
Is there any time you say, well, it's the best time to buy?
Right now.
Every time.
Every time, right? Because you can't control the market, right? So if you buy at a high rate, at some point it's going to go back down. You can refi as long as you do things right. So if there's a chance for you to get some real estate, always pull the trigger because you don't control the market. And the one thing that makes real estate, kind of tricky is the market. But if you can afford to pull the trigger, pull the trigger.
Right. So, back in the day, we go on deployment, save about
a couple racks. Yeah.
Couple racks. You go out and buy a car. Because it's nice, it's hot, pretty, sexy. But when you try to educate people and say, well, you should have took that money and bought a house, and they don't see the bigger picture of it. They know the car. They don't think the car is going to depreciate.
Yeah,
because it's hot right now.
Exactly. The reason being is because they're not being educated. So just saying, hey, go buy a house, that's one thing. But if you can sit down and show them the numbers and crunch the numbers and where it makes sense, that's the difference. Because like I said, you got being told what, like if you say go buy, that's Chief telling me to go buy a house. That's massive. You telling me, right? Let me sit you down and show you how these numbers work. Or show them your figures. Right. Sometimes seeing is believing. It's what we call illustrations. If I can show you the numbers, will that make you move? Not just me telling you don't rent or go buy. Let me run some numbers by you. And that's how you get people's attention. The reason why a lot of young folk are skeptical about other older black folk is because nobody in their life taught them anything.
Right.
All their life they've been told what to do. Right. So if you're not taught, instead of getting what we call generational wealth, you get generational ignorance because that's transferable. Right. So if your parents didn't teach you, then you can't teach your kids and so forth and so on.
Because you don't know.
Because you don't know how.
Unless you want to go and educate yourself on it.
Yeah,
like
so that's the key. Don't just tell them, let me show you, let me educate you, let me show you the big picture.
Educate the process. Cause I'm sure they can look on social media and do a whole bunch of other things. But never take the time and say, you know what, let me sit down and
absolutely
educate myself on this process.
Yep.
And try to understand. Have you ever dealt with a situation where somebody had a bad deal and you kind of like coached them and helped them?
Yeah, I've seen that before. I had people that normally when you buy a house they tell you during closing don't do anything. Don't do anything with your credit. Don't go out and open no new accounts. I had a client that did that. She was husband was over in the Army fighting the war and she was here, and she went out and bought some appliance on the day of closing. The realtor called me and said, AJ, the loan officer said, hey, this deal just fell through.
Wow.
She'd already moved out of her apartment, so it was her and her 2 kids. And husband, he was in E9 in the Army fighting the war over there doing Afghanistan. But so that was a situation because they were being knuckleheaded. They didn't listen to what they were being told.
Wow. That day off. So what
Now, we
happened?
recovered, you know what I'm saying? I had to put up in the hotel for a couple. I went in my pocket, and because the husband, he's already over there. You know, we don't want to stress him out. So
You don't.
You know, because he's fighting the war, and bad enough, he left the wife with power of attorney. So we just kind of, I had to take the loss for that house because the seller was upset, and everybody was upset because of what my client did. So I took the heat for it, and we recovered, and we found another house.
And so she ended up getting another house someplace else. Man. Ooh, that's crazy.
So like, you got people retiring. A lot of people retire from Virginia, and they move to
Different states.
What's some advice that you would give when they doing that?
Yeah, so I always ask people during my workshop, are you staying put or relocating? And the reason being is because, you know, state by state, the big thing for us is our taxes. And then the COLA piece of the puzzle, you know, what's the cost of living like? You know, a lot of folk just excited to get out. And excitement can lead to confusion because there's no plan in place. So check your COLA out, check out the taxes, look at the neighborhood, what's the, you know, and communities like, education like if you got little kids, just a basic checklist, you know, to make sure that wherever you're going at, there's a support system. If you got children, there's a family there. Is there a VA? Is there a medical facility nearby? Because who knows? So all those things you need to look at when you're transferring.
Okay. Because I know sometimes people say, well, I'm going to go to a state, but they don't charge no state tax. I'm not taxing my
And that's
retirement.
good, yeah, because you're looking at your budget. I mean, if you can pull that off, that's good too. You want to look at the tax piece of the puzzle.
All right, now talk about finances. That's your world too.
I love finances.
That's a good thing. What do you think is most important, like that veterans should understand as they transition from the military to that civilian
So
side?
one thing, far as retirees, I tell folk all the time is SBP, right? So we talk about SBP, and it's basically an annuity for your spouse.
Right.
And I didn't do it when I got out. Me and my wife, we talked about it because it's a 30-year commitment. If the spouse dies before you, you get nothing back. So you guys are master chiefs. If I did the math, your base pay might be $5,600. You know, $5,600 times 6.5% over 30 years, that could be upwards close to $100,000. If the spouse dies in year 29, all your money's gone. You don't get that back. It's non-refundable. So what did I do? I tell people a lot of times, insurance. Insurance, no matter who dies first, is a win-win situation, right? So my wife was a 30-year stay-at-home mom, had a full-time job, a very important job, but I'm the breadwinner of our family. So I just beefed up on myself whole life insurance that has a cash value and has a death benefit. So it does two things at once. Right. So when I break this down to a lot of military folk, they say, oh, man, you know what? Because they're just been told, once again, SBP, but I show them the numbers. So, like right now I'm talking to you guys, I'm not showing you, but I actually show them the numbers where it makes sense to them. And say, okay, this is your options. Now, it's not one size fit all, but that's a big deal. Another thing I talk to them about is life insurance. Right? Life insurance is the foundation of all financial planning. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we've solved the life insurance problem in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. But really, when do you think the best time to buy life insurance?
Early.
Maybe a child.
Bingo, out the womb.
Child. Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Because if you buy it when you're a child, now your parents, because they know better, they're solving your life insurance problem because there's four things that people look at when you buy life insurance, underwriters. They look at your age, your health, your occupation, and your lifestyle. Well, guess what a child never have to worry about? None of those. You solve that problem out the womb. So they're young, they're healthy, so that price is cheap. In the same breath, they're building cash value from out the womb. They got a 20-year head start that they got this life insurance policy building cash value. Make sense? They also, they're solving the medical problem. So if they get sick later, it won't come back and bite them because the policy already in place. And that premium stays the same forever. And it's cheap. So what happens is the parent that understand this concept, what they do for their children, they allow their kids to retire when in their 60s with millions of dollars in the bank, in a life insurance bank. And they also leave generational wealth for their grandkids. So they solve the generational wealth problem out the womb. They don't wait till we try to figure out disability and ratings and all that in our 40s. Remember, the reason why our parents couldn't solve for us because they didn't know. But if you know, now you can solve your child's problem with life insurance because when you retire, there's things you need to retire. You need a pension, you need health care, and you need life insurance. The military does two of them for us, but they take the life insurance from us. and they offer us that VGLI, which is it's a bait and switch. But if you got that life insurance problem solved for your child out the womb, they'll get that same rate until they're 100. Remember, they don't have to worry about a job because they don't have a job. They're young and they're healthy majority of the time. So that's the best time to do it. So I tell folk all the time, if I could give any kind of advice when it comes to money, life insurance is the foundation of all financial planning.
Yes.
It's the foundation, and it's the quickest way to leave generational wealth.
Right.
Because all you do is pay a premium. If something goes wrong, that person that's on your beneficiary, they got it. If you teach your kids now, your grandkids ain't got to worry about it.
So in your opinion, now you spoke about SBP. Would you have known what you know about it afterwards? Would you have taken it?
I wouldn't have taken it because, like I said, I don't like the fact of the matter that there's a 30-year commitment if the spouse goes first. And if we maxed out a Master Chief's pay times 6.5%, you just do the math. If the spouse goes first, you can't get that money back. If it's life insurance, no matter who goes first, it's a win-win situation. Now, don't get me wrong, it's subjective. You can diversify however you see fit. But I like to show people the numbers.
I know a lot of people take it. I just wasn't a fan of it because it just didn't make sense to me.
You probably didn't see the numbers though, right?
But it still didn't make sense to me. And I said, well, I can just get more life insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah, and it's over a period of time. And
It's
like
over
I
a
said,
period of time.
yeah. And so what happens is like I'll do like a scenario, right? So one of the scenarios I'll do, like somebody took SBP, one didn't. They both died. Both veterans died in year 30. Veteran A, he took it. So he died at year 30. The first check his wife's going to get, let's just say it was $1,400. But veteran B did the life insurance thing. He took a life insurance policy that was worth $500,000 and had a $400,000 cash benefit. So his spouse gets the first check is $900,000. Now that $900,000 can also become generational money. That $1,400 check, you can't give that to nobody. Once the spouse dies, that's gone. But that $900 pot of money, that $100,000, that can go to another generation.
And I learned, and this is like probably, I'm after 20 years in the Navy. Life insurance is the way to go.
Yeah,
it's the way to go.
It's the key. I learned late.
So did I. I mean, I got it early, but I just didn't get enough of it. You know.
Yeah, I learned the game about life insurance late in my career. Right? I ran across a retired master chief that helped me. I didn't always talk this way about finances, but about 10 years ago, he poured into me. I found out late, but I said, you know what? If you got the cure to cancer, would you tell the world about it? Right. So life insurance and finances to me is like the cure to cancer. And a lot of folk that look like us, we don't get this kind of conversation because there's nobody in our family that knows about it. It's not taught in K through 12. It's not taught in college. And the military definitely don't teach about it.
It's the sad part about it is it's not even taught in the United States, period. In no public school system, you're not getting, and it's done like that for a reason.
Yeah.
And I can get on this.
It's not by design. Yeah.
It's done like that for a reason because we were trained to go to school, to listen, to learn, to once we graduate high school, to go get a job, just to listen and learn. Continue to repeat that cycle that they trained us to do ever since we was in the first grade.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah. I wish they would teach that to us, but I know. They can't.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. All right, so a lot of like when we go to boot camp, you know, we learn how to become a service member, but they never really teach us about finances.
Got it.
We learn that on our own from either from our leaders
Or
that we work for, or trial and error.
Trial and error, a lot of times.
Yeah, so that a lot of that happens. So now, when we get to the part of now we're retiring, we still seen a lot of senior people struggling financially.
Absolutely.
You know, what are some things that you can kind of give to say, hey, this is a thing that you probably just stay on track, keep on track. And now that you're going from the 2 paychecks a month down to 1.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, just budgeting and debt management. And just being sincere about not living outside your means, prioritize your wants and your needs, and just stand on top of your. Basically, I mean, simple math when it comes to budgeting. Right, just stand on top of your wants and your needs, and because we live in what we call an instant gratification world. Everything now, right?
Definitely,
all these apps,
definitely.
this, that, and the third. There's so many things you can get just like that. You got cash apps, you got you name it. Online 24-hour banking. So the rules have changed. You just got to be sincere about, staying focused like a laser on your debt.
Okay. What are some key financial mistakes veterans make during the transition process? When they going from, active duty.
Yeah, one of the things I
retire.
tell people, just try to pay down as much debt as possible. If you haven't bought that first home, try to do that before you actually on the back end. So try to buy a home, pay down as much debt as possible, have your emergency fund set up.
So why is it important to get that home prior? Because a lot of people think it's better after.
Yeah, well, what happens is when you leave after, then your income changes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of loan officers they want to see actually 2 years of service work. And if you're getting out and you ain't your pension, that's gonna cut half of your pension, whatever the case might be. Disability's not guaranteed. So a lot of people think they can wait almost till they have to buy a home. Loan officers, they don't play that because they want to see there's a consistent income of what you were making. So I tell folk, if you're going to buy that home, try to get it 2 years before you get out. If not on the back end, it's going to be hard to convince a loan officer that you're going to get some income to replace that.
I know sometimes at Fleet and Family, they offer like classes. Like always for the junior sales. Right,
First time home buyer class, stuff like that.
Right, stuff like that. Just to educate them on the process.
The process, yeah.
They have a lot of programs to help our service members.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they take advantage of it like they should. I guess you working, we need you here at work.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can kind of alleviate a lot of them financial burdens that sale or service member have in their home.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of those programs that they have.
And it's sometimes this division, command driven, and what's important. Sometimes you can pull them alongside and do certain things as long as you're not crossing the line of, that fraternization. But it's just basically getting in the air and trying to educate them to the best of your ability.
Okay. What are some strategies that you could probably share for like veterans to ensure financial stability after they retire?
Well, like I said, once again, just pretty much, putting that budget together.
Right.
Living within your means.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a one-income family, that's really something you got to be serious about. Get serious about getting that job because if a lot of folk, 99% of folk that get out, they're not retired. They got to go back to work soon.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are not in a position we can just walk away. Right? So you got to be serious about that whole transition process. Resumes, mock interviews, cover letters, networking, right? And don't take it for granted. Some military folk leave the military that's unfortunately going through a divorce. That's half your pension gone, right? So I know a lot of people that come to my workshop in that route. So the transition is real. And if you don't have an emergency fund, if you're not serious about trying to get that second job, you're not serious about reducing debt and all that, I mean, it can happen to the best of us.
And speaking on that, like that transition from active duty to retired or veteran, and you teach that at the Department of Labor,
Yes.
the workshops. That's what you and AP have met.
Yep.
How do you is it a satisfaction that you get like teaching that, especially because you served?
Absolutely. Yeah, to me, it's like therapy. It's my way of giving back, but more importantly, it's a wake-up call. I mean, because I want to wake folk up, man. AP see me in there. I mean, what you see is what you get, right? So I don't sugarcoat it, whether you're in E6 or E9 or W2 or W4 or O1, O10. I mean, you need to understand that when you come on this side, it's back to reality, right? So all the privileges and rank and status and titles will be gone. So my thing is to wake them up, shock their conscience.
And that was an intentional decision you made to work for the Department of Labor?
Well,
because you took a lot of years off.
Yeah, it happened. That job came by mistake. I didn't look for it. It found me. But then when I realized what it was, I said, you know what? I like this. Right. So I'm in the room where I'm comfortable. It's folk I know. We cut from the same cloth. I just got to wake them up about reality. Because a lot of us, we think, okay, I'm a chief, a master chief, a E6. It shouldn't be that hard when I get out. It's going to be hard as you want it to be. If you don't plan, it's going to be extremely hard. If you work at it, then you can make it easy. But it's going to be as hard as you want it to be.
So how did it find you? I mean, because you is good at it. Like I said, I didn't set through the course. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was on the internet one day messing around with jobs, and I saw this job. My buddy might have told me about it, and it says tap coordinator. I'm thinking, do I teach somebody how to dance? Because I forgot what tap was about, right? So then they said, no, you're an instructor to military folk that's getting out. So I got a phone call and did an interview, and I killed the interview, and they hired me. And then I went over to that building, and I got inside there, and the rest is history. I just started, you know what I'm saying? I said, you know what? I'm I'm in my comfort zone because I don't need to learn any new language. I'm comfortable with who I'm talking to. I just need to, let people know that the transition is real.
The majority of facilitators over there, are they retired military?
Yeah, so most of us are retired military. Okay. Got about maybe one civilian and a couple of dependents, but most of them are retired military.
Okay. What do y'all talk about or teach or facilitate?
Yeah, so one of them is we teach a vocational course. So like if you think about going the apprenticeship route, so we go into that concept, and it's more about the theory of jobs and the mindset, the psychological part. We teach a one-day mandatory EFCT workshop. It's a watered-down version of resumes and interview skills and different concepts. We go over how to negotiate, things that
EFT stand for?
Employment Fundamentals of Career Transition. Then we teach one called Department of Labor and Employment Workshop. It's a 2-day workshop. We go more into detail, resume writing, interview skills, networking, job fairs, all those things that lead to the opportunities.
I'm going to come back to the resume in the interview. And they always say, write the resume to the job that you want.
Targeted, yeah.
Right.
The job that you targeted. So how does a person, I know some jobs can probably be easily converted over. If you are a yeoman and you're looking to get like a executive assistant job, it's probably easy to kind of talk about that in your resume. But if you a CS trying to become executive assistant, like it's probably going to be like a little bit challenging.
Yeah, because
to do that. So I've said all that. Is it good to get your resume to pay for it, or can you do it on your own?
Now, I would tell anybody, don't pay anybody to do your resume. It's kind of like learning how to write evals and fit reps. We had awards, we had to do it on our own. Right. So this is a process. So if you plan in advance, but if you wait till the last minute, then your hands might be tied. But I recommend, learn the process on your own, because how's the old saying, if I teach you how to fish, you eat for a lifetime. If I give you a fish, you eat for a day. So resume is the same process.
Is it like, and I know it's a difference between, I think, a government resume.
You have a federal resume,
Federal.
And then you have a corporate.
And that's more pages that go, because normally it's like a one-pager.
Yeah, a federal resume, it could go from 1 to 20 pages, right? So because it's a process inside of USA Jobs or USA.gov, they have a built-in system that'll walk you through that whole concept. The corporate's no more than about 1 to 2 pages, because federal, they want more. They go back to your date of birth, so it's a real the process is a lot deeper.
Oh wow! But I'm sure there's a whole lot of examples out there. People got
Yeah. So even USA Jobs, they have templates and all that you can see.
Right,
yeah.
You can see. And going to like the doing a job, like you doing like the hiring process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you and I were speaking about this before. Like, how do me being an AO, and I'm going to a job interview, and I'm trying to tell these people what I did, and if we always speak in my people, or
the we language.
But when you're doing an interview, it has to be
the I language.
Yeah. So how do you train somebody that's been taught for 10 plus years to speak we to I? That's hard to do.
Yeah, so a couple cracks up across the head where they don't get that job, and it'll wake them up, right?
It's a wake up.
Yeah, so they got to practice, right? So I remember when I made my first layup, it was horrible, but through repetition, you get good at it. So they got to learn that, if you don't change your language up, it's going to cost you. Unless you get around somebody who's ex-military that can relate to you. But normally, in corporate America, it's not going to be that way. But federal, you got a better shot.
Okay.
Federal's not going to hold it against you a whole lot. But if you go in the corporate route, that we stuff, it's going to get you.
And then trying to explain to them what I did in the military, they have no clue.
Absolutely, which is that's the language that we have. We have that language barrier. So we got to, through practice, watching interviews and stuff like that, you'll get rid of that habit. But it's a habit.
About a STAR program.
Yeah, it's a STAR program, which is, we call it situation, task, action, result. It allows you to tell a story, right, about. And the story you're telling, it shouldn't be about you. It should be how my story can help your company. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't be, I'm from Georgia, I'm from Philadelphia, I like the Eagles, and can't wait till they win another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna help me. That ain't gonna help you get a job, right? You need to be talking about how you can help the company. My skill set can benefit you. So a lot of folk, they get it twisted. So it's got to be about the company.
Yeah, and I learned that you should take, like when you go to like those job fairs, you should do interviews right then.
Yeah.
To kind of get practice. The practice. It could be a job that you don't even want, but they offering you, we're doing interviews on the spot. Just do it.
Yeah, do it. 'Cause I tell people a job fair, the main reason of a job fair is to actually go there and get a job.
Yeah.
You can practice your skill set right there. Right? But the way you do it is you got to go to the job fair. So if it's company A and company B that I like, I've already done my research. I know what your company's about. I've been to your website. I got my resume targeted. I got my cover letter targeted. It's all in my briefcase. The moment I start talking to you and I say, good afternoon, Thais. I'm Andrew Johnson. I go by AJ. Research your company. I'm excited about the opportunity to come aboard. Okay, what do you know about my company? At that point, I kick in. Because then when I kick in with my scripts, you'll say, okay, do you have that resume with you? Yes. And that I can get hired on the spot, but a lot of people go to job fairs and they waste time. They're not prepared. So they go from table to table, and I actually, what do you know about my company? I don't know, man. I just met you today. That's letting me know that you're not serious about this job fair.
So what do you recommend a person, as they prepping to go to a job fair, what should they do?
So if you got the brochures telling you who's going to be there, and there's 8 or 9 companies, only 2 interest you, go to the website, pull those 2 companies up, research them, find everything you can about them, because that's who you're going to talk to. I know it's 10 people here, but I only want these 2 jobs.
Right.
So when I go talk to AP about his company, okay, you like my company, what do you know about it? Not too much. AJ told me to use the script. I'm just going through the motion right now. Okay, that's a bad day for me, right? But if I've done my homework, right, it's a different ball game.
Right.
Because I can talk shop to this guy. He might say, you know what, you got your resume with you? I like this guy. Because all you're doing is connecting. So just like we having a conversation now, we just trying to, I want to get this guy, drop it. I want to disarm this guy and let him see, you know what, this guy's a good fit. I like his personality.
Because a lot of people do, like what you just said, they just show up at the job fair, like, hey, I'm supposed to be practicing. And they just go in there from table to table, shoot layups. Looking terrible.
And missing.
To a lot of folks, it's a day off work. Okay, hey, we're going to job fair, right? But they're not serious about it because they don't know nothing about the companies that's there. It's just like if they come to one of our sell the quarter boards. If they show up unprepared, we're going to run them out of there.
Right.
Did anybody prep you? And if it's your guy and they embarrass you, you're really going to be hot.
That's absolutely.
LPO, chief, let's talk. Man, I just came from a board, and you sent Seaman Johnson up there. He couldn't answer one question. I've dropped the ball, man. No, that's not good because we just let that young man down.
And then they go to these job fairs and come back.
Yeah,
with
so a lot of people go to pens
magnets.
and keychains. They happy. No, I want a job. I'm not good at no cheap keychain or a water.
And then they realize how
A water cooler,
Yeah, once they actually out of the service.
Now they realize, okay.
Now they like, oh wow, I got to go do this.
Yeah, I often ask people, when the worst time to learn how to swim? When you're in the water drowning. You don't want to learn how to do this stuff when it's too late.
Right. What do you think the most common challenges that veterans face when they transition into the civilian sector?
Reality. See, a lot of veterans think that this getting out is a joke. They think it's never going to happen. So they wait till the last minute. They're thinking, okay, if I got a year, I got 9 months. So a lot of them don't think that this reality is going to happen. And then when it happens, that's when it hits them. Realize, okay, no more support system, no more first and the 15th. All these perks and benefits I had, now I'm back in the real world. So a lot of them, I tell the word reality, because they don't think it's coming. We're so used to this 20 and 30 years. It's a good system. Yeah, a lot of them came in the military right out of high school, so all their life.
Yeah.
They've been taken care of by their parents, and they come here another 20, so 18 years by their parents, and then another 20 and 30 by the government. So yeah, that's 48 years of being nurtured, taken care of.
And now the safety net is gone.
It's gone, just like that.
Yeah, we'll give you a retirement check. Thank you for your service. Some disability. Appreciate you for doing a hard job.
But now you're on your own. You got to figure this out. So a lot of them, they be like, man, you know what? So for me, the big thing I always tell them is reality. It's waiting on you.
Right. Are there like any type of special skills that they should be equipped with before they transition?
Well, for us at our level, we already got them. It's called soft skills. We have all of our leadership skills, team building skills. So we won't have a problem because we're the cream of the crop. It's the young folk. Those are the ones that they get out and reality really cracks them across the head. But you get some senior folk that still just they arrogant and thinking, okay, you know what, I don't need no help. I got this figured out. But you got to, so I tell people all the time, the key thing to anything that you're trying to learn, because you're in a learning phase when you get out. You got to humble yourself and be willing to say, you know what, I know I'm a master chief, but hey, can somebody help me out with this right here? Can you make sure I understand this, get some clarification? So if you can't humble yourself and say, you know what, this is a learning phase I'm ready to go through, because it is. Boot camp was a learning phase, so guess what transition is? It's a learning phase. If you're not, so I always call my workshop a 1-day boot camp or a 2-day boot camp. That's what I tell them. So my goal is to shift your mind from military back to civilian. Now, I can't make you go through this transition and learn. That's up to you. But you're going through a learning phase.
So what do you think about this? Because this is a conversation, that I don't have with a few people in regards to transitioning. I think that the whole TAPS process should be a lot longer. This executive TAPS is about, 3 days or whatnot. And just like you said, transition. Coming into the military, 3-4 months of great transition, taking us off the street and programming us to be sailors.
Yep.
On the back end, the 1 week, the 2 weeks.
Yeah,
come on,
process,
man.
yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah, you're not going to figure this stuff out in 1 or 2
you're
days.
not. I really think that TAPS should be tailored to. Okay, now we go to TAPS and it's just like, I'm gonna just tell you where all your resources is. A bunch of people come in, they sit down with us, they talk to us, and say, hey, I'm here, I'm available if you want to take this LinkedIn picture, and we help. And hey, I'm here for resumes. This is where my office is. No, I think it should be a set up and arranged to where when I leave TAPS, I have that already. No, spend a day, because some people don't know how to use no LinkedIn.
Yeah, a lot of folks.
They don't know what they're doing on there.
Yeah, I agree. The process should be more in detail, because a lot of folks will spend, 1, 2 days, 3 days, and a lot of people, to be honest, they come there and just they wondering, how long the class gonna last.
Absolutely.
Is the class gonna be hot or cold, and who is the person that's talking to me, and all the distractions.
All around me.
So their
Auto
mind
command on their phone.
Their mind is not there. I understand that we're senior folk and then junior folk, so. But the process should be a lot more in detail, because you're not going to figure that stuff out in 1, 2, or 3 days. That's a process.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
Right. You just got just a taste of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got
1 or 2 or 3 days.
So imagine this: in boot camp, I got to deprogram 18 years of your life.
Right.
Retiring, I got to deprogram about 20, 30 years of your life.
That's
I gotta
it.
go back and get you back, right? You can't do that in 2 or 3 days. But so you make sense.
Because I think everyone should do at least one practice interview before they leave TAPS. Come out of there with a whole resume.
Yep.
Don't just tell me where I can go get it at. I should come out of there with a resume, with a LinkedIn page, set up and everything like that.
I agree.
Those 3 things at a minimum.
At a minimum.
I done at least did one mock interview before I walked out of there.
Absolutely. I agree.
But I think sometimes our pride gets in the way.
And also the way they got the system set up. So I don't know if it's the DOD and whatever they came up with, because that program was designed by the DOD with the Department of Labor. So I don't know if it's a budget issue or whatever. They don't want to lose folk for so many time frame. But I agree. We can invest more into the program.
And I was speaking on our pride, I know sometimes you can do a mock interview when you go to tax class. But I don't think they let everybody do it.
Well, I offer it, but a lot of folk, because of pride, they don't want to step up in public.
And feel like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I want to be embarrassed.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
saying the wrong thing.
Well, it's the old saying, pay me now, pay me later. At some point,
You're
you're
gonna
going
have to do it.
Yeah.
Now, some people, they retire and they'll never ever go back to work. But a lot of them
That's
do.
a few and far between.
It's
Yeah.
few and far between.
Yeah.
But a lot of them do. Like I said, when I retired, I worked for Nike, and trying to explain to them what I do in the military, they just looking like,
Yeah, like you got 2 heads. Yeah.
what? You did what on a flight deck?
Yeah.
Or you did what?
Yeah.
You
What's
was,
a flight line like?
What's
You know what?
what's
You
a
was in
flight
Memphis,
line? A
yeah.
flight
Yeah.
deck. Yeah.
you was in Memphis.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That's-
so that was easy. Like your experience with facilitating, that information. What type of feedback do you get?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, they love me, right?
Yeah.
Because I already know that when I go there, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I want to wake folk up. 8 people's in my workshop, and I teach it to E1 to E9 and 06 to 010, right? So the feedback is normally good, because my delivery is different, right? So my objective is to wake you up, let you know, okay, this is real. But what I do for us, it's not so much I'm talking at us, I'm talking to us, the stuff we can take back important to our junior guys or even family or people you're mentoring and coaching to, right? So I let everybody know playing field's equal. We're not on the rank thing. We're on the learning curve today.
Okay. All right. This is my last question. I don't know if AP got one. How do you guide veterans in exploring potential career paths and identifying their transferable skills? Like I say, you being a cook.
Yeah.
AB, AO. You know, we got many rates out there.
Got it.
And what I notice a lot, like a lot of senior people, they go into public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they have that
ability, the oracle ability,
you know, to talk. So, do you hone in on your craft, or you just try to say, I'm gonna jump out there and do something totally different?
Yeah, well, I tell people most important when it comes to a job, find something you're passionate about. Right? Don't see a lot of people. I call them what we call triple P people. You're a triple P person. You become a professional people pleaser. So all your life you're just trying to please other folk, right? But really, you know, what are you passionate about? Not what Thais want, not what AP want. What do you want to do? And once you find your passion, it's a different ballgame. But if you're just chasing things just to be chasing them and there's no passion there, you're going to burn out. You're going to crash and burn. So it might take you a minute, but find something you're passionate about. That's the key.
I know people, they have multiple jobs once they retire.
Mm-hmm.
They start here. They did that for about a year or 18 months, and they shift over there. And shift over
because
there.
there's no passion there. Anything you love, you don't run from it. Right? So there's no passion. So I tell folk in the military, when you leave the military, there's two jobs that military people get, A job and D job. Most people get what? A job, because they never find their passion. So they're just running from job to job, trying to replace money. And money can't buy you passion. That's an insight. When you love a job,
they believe that.
Yeah, but they believe it. But there's an old saying: when you find a job that you love or you like, what's that saying?
You
Never
don't
work a day in
look.
your life. Like you do this to midnight,
Right.
Because it's what you guys like to do, right? So once you find something you're passionate about, it's over. It's a wrap. Because now you know, okay, I'm in my sweet spot. You know.
That's respect.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched that one. Pretty much everything, you know.
I mean, we got to have you come back, man.
No doubt.
There's more stuff that we just tapped into.
Yeah.
But I want to just really focus on, because what we see is just giving back to those that
Absolutely.
never experienced it.
Yeah.
You know, he's about to walk into it, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm talking to him. He got other people talking to him, so we always there with him just to make sure his transition kind of goes smoothly.
Yeah, and more importantly, we're living testimonies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're proof positive that this it's real. It pays off. And
it's going to happen. See, I always tell people it's going to happen. Don't get too comfortable to say, "Oh, I'm gonna be here forever." No.
All good things must come to an end. And when you leave, ain't nobody gonna call you back for a reunion. It's a wrap. So enjoy your time while you got it, but there is no recall. Once they use us up, it's a wrap. They're going on to the next candidate, right? So enjoy your time while you're here, but once it's over, it's over. You know, it's okay to have your shadow box and your goat lock and all that, but that's personal. But the system's not gonna call you back ever again.
No.
Right?
Yeah. So, hey, people, please listen up. This is a great interview, and I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Because it's opening people's eyes, and I think as we get older and getting educated,
Absolutely.
we understanding the process and how it works.
Absolutely.
The more we talk about it, the more we share this information and pass it on, it's only helping us.
Absolutely.
It's only helping us because no matter what rank you are, from an E5 to a E9 to a O10, you're going to have to transition.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to transition. So,
Wow.
And guess what? They got to come through the class.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad I ran across my man AP. He was a good student in the classroom, very excited, and showed me some
Did he
other
sit in the
stuff.
front of the class?
Yeah, he was in the front of the class. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, so we gel from day one. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, it's a pleasure, man.
Appreciate it, man. Again, we're going to have you back on to talk about some other things.
Okay, no doubt.
Man. So appreciate it. Hey, people, Eddie's out.
But before you go again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Not only for what you did in the uniform, but what you're doing outside of the uniform. You know, you really preparing a lot of people. You know, again, if you haven't been over the taps, that's probably the only time you see them. But you got a sneak peek. And some of these topics we covered today, we can been hours, not
Absolutely.
days. We just really touched the surface on a whole lot of different important topics, you know what I'm saying, that we don't discuss, you know, as far as timelines and when should we start doing certain things. Like I said, we really just scratched the surface, kind of skimmed on so many different things. But again, I just want to personally tell you I appreciate you, what you do. It is very much needed. The way that you package it and the way that you deliver it, you know, it matters too. It makes it very, very comfortable to speak about, because these are some very touchy topics.
Absolutely.
You know, sitting down talking to someone about their finances, and you know, can be uncomfortable. You know, talking about life insurance and you know, leaving things behind for when you're not here. It could be very uncomfortable. Some people don't like having those conversations.
Absolutely.
But, you know, sitting in your class and things like that, for one, you let us know that it's important. We need to be prepared because of the people that we're leaving behind. And again, you make it comfortable. And I appreciate it, you know, because you can speak from an angle that we all been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So again, appreciate you for what you did in and out of the uniform, and just keep doing it, brother.
No
Keep
doubt,
doing
we
it.
cut from the same cloth. It is what it is, man. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, so I'm good.
Peace.
Peace out.